So, black conservatives are useful N-words? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So, I'm a fan of Dennis Spurling. You know, he says a lot of things that I agree with. But he also pushes a lot of black victimhood nonsense. You know, he's pushing for this bill, trying to put forth this narrative for blacks to get reparations from Africans who sold blacks in America to slavery. You know, because they're not getting it from America. And to that, I would say, okay, well, what if somebody traces his lineage and found out that his ancestors in Africa captured blacks and sold them to the white man before they were captured and sold to the white man? So did somebody sue him? Regardless, it's all a bunch of nonsense because black folks aren't owed a damn thing in this country. But he basically said, called black conservatives tools for the white man. And he loved pushes this stupid narrative that white supremacy breaks his tools, all that foolishness. And he talked about modern games, how modern games degrade black women, even though Myron Gaines says the same thing about all modern women, right? He brought up Candace Owens, say that she's a tool for the white man, and he brought up, she's Caribbean, but I guess that's tether foolishness, right? Then he had a thumbnail with them and then Sheriff David Clark and Jason Whitlock with Trump in the middle, as if Donald Trump is using them, whatever. Then there's a whole bunch of nonsense. This black victimhood, sometimes I think, again, it's the worst thing for black people in America. And I don't like when other blacks who have prominent positions, who have a prominent voice in social media, push the black victimhood because it's doing black folks no benefit. And reparations aren't going to do black people any good because it's not going to change the broken mentality. But anyway, so let's go into some of the video that he put up.
Myron Gaines is over there spewing, promoting and degrading black women. I'm not talking about loving critiques. I'm talking about promoting the worst stereotype. And he's spewing this anti-Jewish rhetoric, which is gonna get him nowhere quick. Same thing with Candace Owens, attacking Jewish people, attacking black people, completely unaware that the same conservative forces she aligns with will turn on her. You see these black YouTube so-called conservatives, right? Repeating white nationalist talking points, laughing at the struggles of their own people, thinking they're safe because they have an audience. And I know Candace Owens is Caribbean, and I know Myron Gaines is East African. But as far as white folk concerned, y'all are all N-words. And that's how they see it. And they're using both of them as a tool. But see, they won't be safe for long because that's not how this system works. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how famous you are, or how long you've been useful. When white supremacy no longer needs you, you get discarded.
Okay, so let's get into this like Brandon Tatum, right? Okay, so he talks about this white supremacy breaks his tool nonsense. How does white supremacy break its tool? This is just more common brainwash rhetorical nonsense that you hear from blacks. All that rhetoric that they spew. Black folks been brainwashed with so much nonsense. They just spew it. It's just a knee-jerk reaction. There's no evidence that they can show that there's no white supremacy breaking its tool foolishness. Because if you say white supremacy breaks its tool, then you can also show examples of quote-unquote allegedly white supremacy getting rid of and discarding other white folks. That is stupid. But he talks about, this black conservative, are the tool for the white man, right? Again, I ask how are black conservatives tools for the white man? So let's go ahead and dissect this nonsense. Now, in order to make that argument, you have to, number one, you have to show what the white man's agenda is, number one. And then number two, you have to show how black conservatives are aiding white supremacy and pushing for that agenda. Now, what is the black conservative message then? Basically, it's the end of black victimhood. It's a push for traditional families, the restoration of the black family, personal accountability, and the end of wokeness. Also, black conservatives prefer ACP over DEI. And of course, if you never heard of ACP, something I came up with, I just mean accountability, competency, participation. If black folks do those three, they would have no problem in America, as opposed to you wouldn't have to worry about the DEI foolishness. So if this is what black conservatives are doing and what they stand for, then how are they pushing the white man's bidding then? How are they tools for the white man? If black conservatives are the tools for the white man, then the white man must want what's best for blacks. Because if black people listen to black conservatives, they'll be prospering in America. Okay, this white man's tool narrative is it's just brainwashed narrative nonsense. The stuff that black folks just keep rehashing and rehearsing from the past, constantly living in the past, have to run to the past to fuel their race anger of today. And on to this point, Uncle D is wrong. Dennis Spurling is just flat out wrong here. What he's doing here is just hurting blacks, because you're gonna have black people listen to this. And I always say, I've noticed this since pretty much most of my life, 51. So I pretty much noticed this in my early 20s that, black folks only respond very differently to race. When I always say that when race starts, with black people, when race starts, brains stop. When they hear racism, they just turn into mindless zombies. And every time black people, these race hustlers push race, they just keep black folks in that mindless zombie state. And that's all Uncle D is going to do with this message. You're telling other blacks, these black brainwashed blacks, to be against the black people who really truly trying to help the black community, trying to help black people with a message or with a traditional message. Anyway, like I say, Uncle D is wrong here. He's wrong for this white supremacy breakers tool nonsense. This is so old and tired, it needs to end. Anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.